have we reached the destination? It is a sad journey, but it's only warriors who sit to discuss what is going on. As it was in 2004, when we formed Forum for Democratic Change, we were hell-bent on building a new political organ, a political vehicle that would provide Uganda with what it has never had: democratic change. And even as we gather today, we are following that same trajectory, political trajectory, that we are looking for democratic change for the people of Uganda, for ourselves. So we have not yet achieved what we set ourselves to do. And I'm glad that we are still here to pursue, hot pursuit of that goal we set ourselves to do. I am glad to be standing with you, shoulder to shoulder, in this journey, because it was retired Colonel Dr. KIZZA BESIGYE in 1999 who was the whistleblower that NRM had gone wrong. And it's still the same retired Colonel Dr. KIZZA BESIGYE who was the whistleblower that something was wrong with the party. I keep asking him, how do you manage these things? Me, I can't handle some of them. And the sad story that this tells of ourselves is even sadder for the people of Uganda. Because the people of Uganda have sat there and waited and trusted and believed and hoped that we were the team that was going to deliver the change they so badly need. That responsibility still lies with us. In 2001, we did not have political parties. We all went under a thing called individual merit of a movement system. It is something that Dr. BESIGYE had participated in. And he was accused that we are the owner of the monster. But he had the courage to say something was wrong with it, and badly wrong. Today, even the blind can see it. And so, the first test of democracy under an organizational system was under reform agenda. Uganda has never experienced a violent election like the one of 2001. In Parliament, they set up a committee to investigate the violence. That report, that committee was led by the Honorable Dan Ogalo. He did not have the opportunity to present it to the country, and he suddenly became a target of the state. And they made sure he did not return to Parliament to read it as the chairman. And he, as the Member of Parliament for Bukoli South, was quickly deleted so that that report does not get heard. So we have unfinished business as far as 2001. We don't know who made it what on all of us. Our chairman, Chapaka Ruhanga, also contested in 2001 under the National Democrats Forum. He too was part of that a victim of that election violence. And so his organization, the NDF, together with the Parliamentary Advocacy Forum of members of Parliament, of the 7th Parliament, came together to form the Forum for Democratic Change. The Forum for Democratic Change was led by 3 people then. They used to call them the Troika. Our first meeting was held in South Africa. You can imagine transporting over 80 people to South Africa to be able to consolidate an idea born of 3 entities. How expensive it was and how organizationally superior it was. So our first meeting was held in Krugersdorp, a place in South Africa. We could not have held it in Uganda at that time because the foundation on which we were building the party was in South Africa. So we still have the foundation here. I was given the task of being the interim chair then. And many people wondered, why Salaamu? And there were even people who left FDC because Salaamu had become the chair while Dr. BESIGYE was in South Africa. But all that has been time-tested, and we are here. We still have a duty to ourselves. We still have a duty to this nation. We have a duty to posterity to deliver democratic change. So what happened? There are many versions of it. But the biggest breach of trust, the biggest betrayal, was organization. On the 16th of June, 2023, we sat as NEC and decided that we had too many internal issues. We should stay all the elections, the grassroots elections. Let us stop all the elections so that we discuss what was wrong with ourselves. It was then that we realized that there was a long plot that had happened since 2020 to destroy the party from within. The enemy without, the outside enemy we had managed to contain, but the enemy within was vicious. The enemy within was obstinate, and the enemy within was holding a very big post in the party, without which he could not move. The enemy within disabled the biggest organ of the party, the National Executive Committee. The enemy within was and is Engineer Patrick Amuriatoboy, the one we elected to be the party president. Trust. Colleagues in the National Executive Committee thought that it was not possible that we could have an enemy within seated on top of the chair, seated on top of the table. But with hindsight, I'm sure that all of you can now tell that the enemy within, the enemy who had benefited from our collective energy, our collective desire for best practices within the party, was at the heart of manipulating the party and all its organs. And this plot had happened post-election. They went around 3 times in the country, and their biggest target was that Dr. BESIGYE had refused to participate in the elections of 2021. The blackmail, very obvious. It gained legs, eyes, and ears countrywide. And so the next enemy within facilitated the propaganda machinery that went around the country. It is one person that we have all invested in for years. We have made him a leader of opposition. We have made him the chairman, Public Accounts Committee. We have made him shadow minister of finance. We have even asked him to be our flag bearer in 2021. Seated at Dr. BESIGYE's veranda, a committee had been set up, led by the Honorable Jack Sabiti, to do a survey countrywide. Who would be the next candidate for president of the FDC? Because Dr. BESIGYE, unknown to me, had told colleagues that he wouldn't be available. And so the survey went around the country, and it was agreed that the Honorable Nathan Nangala Mafabi would be our best candidate for presidency in 2021. He declined at that time. He said he wasn't ready. So the responsibility then fell onto the party president, Honorable Maria. And so this duo worked tirelessly to manipulate, to strangulate the democratic procedures we agreed on. Unknown to us, maybe known to Doctor, but unknown to many of us, that the enemy within was gaining momentum. And so what happened on 19th September was an effort to salvage a well-knit, long-plotted program of destruction of the party we all love, the party we have lost so much for. And so for us here, who have the beauty to talk and explain to the country what happened, we do so with great pride, because many of our colleagues are not here to make the case. We speak for our first chair, the late Sulaiman Chigundu. We speak for the Honorable Salaamu Musumba. We speak for Honorable John Butime. We speak for Honorable Chimera and many others who lie in homes, maimed, unemployed, whose resources we have squandered, whose lives have been squandered by the enemy within. Your presence here for me just reminds me of the unfinished business me and you have to conclude. Because it is FDC that has been able to introspect itself and seek remedies out there, I know you face more questions than I do. But for me, the questions that I get are so spiteful that I'm looking for energy from you. I'm looking for fuel from you to solve their own. And so this political space we occupy could also be perishable, because we are now dealing in high density perishable goods. We have invited you here to make sure that we do not belong to the dump heap of history, that once upon a time there was a great party for which everybody wanted to be part of. Let us be part of the present and the future, and that future is within our means. I want all of us to thank Dr. BESIGYE. Because now he's the new target of people he raised, of people he hoped would provide the leadership we all badly need. That betrayal is right on us every day. But let's find it.